Balake. Where's Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is present. Welcome back, everyone, for some more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. All right, an update on Danny Masterson's sentencing. It was supposed to happen on August 4th, and now it is set to happen September 7th. And you're probably going to see it reported in various places that the reason for the postponement is that at a hearing today, the deputy DA said that they want to have more than just the two victims Danny was convicted. Danny was convicted on charges relating to two victims. He was tried for charges relating to three victims. There's two other victims who testified at either the first trial or the second trial, and there are even other victims. So normally for this judge, it seems that this judge has never had a case where victims other than the ones for whom what would you call Danny in this case? He's not the defendant. Okay. She's never overseen a case where victims other than the ones for whom the defendant was convicted gave victims impact statements, which is weird because I thought that would, it sounds weird to me because in the high profile cases, we see victim statements from many people other than the ones the defendant was convicted for. Larry Nassar comes to mind. So in this case in particular, Danny Masterson was convicted on the counts relating to Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2. Jane Doe 3 wants to make a victim's impact statement. Kathleen from Canada, who testified in the second trial, wants to make a victim's impact statement. I'm not totally clear on whether Jane Doe 4 from the first trial also wants to make a victim's impact statement. But so now what's going to happen on August 4th, instead of the sentencing, there's going to be a hearing regarding whether the additional victims' impact statements are going to be allowed. Now, it's very easy to assume that this issue about the victims' impact statements is the reason for the postponement. And I'm not sure it's terribly important whether it is or it's not, but I do want to point something out. In a hearing on June 28th, almost exactly 2 weeks ago, right? It was a hearing in the civil case against Danny Masterson. Remember, there's a civil case, not for the attacks themselves. I'm saying attacks instead of the real word because I don't know if it's too early in the video for YouTube to let me say the R word. The civil case is not for the attacks themselves that Danny has been convicted of. The civil case regards the harassment the Jane Does have been subjected to since coming forward about 6 years ago. And so the hearing in the civil case, remember, the civil case was stayed. It was put on hold pending the outcome of the criminal trial and the criminal case. And the criminal case is not considered officially done until Danny is sentenced. So the hearing in the civil trial was to say, we're going to postpone this until he's sentenced, and the sentencing at that time had been scheduled for August 4th. And Danny's civil attorney, Andrew Bretler, said at that hearing that there was a 60% chance the sentencing date would be postponed. Let me tell you something. That was news to everyone in that courtroom other than Andrew Bretler. And it speaks to continued collusion between the criminal defense team and the civil defense team. Because the only way, and again, I should hesitate to say only, at this point, it seems that the only way Andrew Bretler would have had any inkling that there could be a postponement is if he had an inkling that the prosecutor was going to ask for additional victims' impact statements, and this was going to justify calling for an additional hearing on this subject. But here's the problem. No one on the criminal defense team knew that the prosecution was going to ask for additional victims to make impact statements. That's what my sources tell me. Here's what I think happened. Pure speculation, pure rank speculation, but rank informed speculation. I believe Kathleen in Canada booked her flight to Los Angeles to come to the hearing. Did you guys know that Scientology operates its own in-house travel agency? It has its own incorporated travel agency. Its existence is somehow related to Scientology's Free Winds cruise ship. Through this travel agency, Scientology can set up notifications. Scientology can see anyone's flight itinerary. Like if I book a flight, Scientology knows about it. They get a notification because I don't fully understand how the licensing works, but Mike Rinder has explained this is how the Office of Special Affairs in Scientology tracks the travel itinerary of critics, former members, whistleblowers who it wants to follow through its travel agency. I believe Scientology saw that Kathleen in Canada had booked travel arrangements to come to Los Angeles to be in Los Angeles during Danny Masterson's sentencing. I believe Scientology informed the criminal defense team. I believe the criminal defense team informed the civil defense team, and the civil defense team sort of showed their cards when they made that statement in open court, a statement he would have had absolutely no reason to make, because even the prosecution side is like, we got no idea what this guy's talking about. I can tell you that the prosecution did not expect this thing to be postponed. They did not. This was unexpected, is what I'm saying. And I think that it does speak to continued collusion between Scientology and the criminal defense team and the civil defense team. But that's just me, guys. What do I know? I grew up in a cult. I don't know much. So that is the update. Sentencing on September 7th. We won't know until August 4th whether the additional victims' impact statements are going to be allowed. But boy, I sure hope they will be. I sure hope they will be. I can tell you I will be in Los Angeles on September 7th for that sentencing. And I think a lot of other people will be there as well. That's it, guys. This is not going to be a long video. Let me see what we have here. Carousel Delirium. You may have zero idea, but I am curious as to where Masterson's TV show and movie royalties will go. With his show airing daily still, the money adds up. Well, my best guess is that it's going to go to his wife. But I can tell you this, this whole Danny Masterson's whole situation has absolutely financially screwed over his co-stars in that 70s show. I'm going to get the fine details of this story wrong, but it had something to do with the renegotiation of the syndication rights was coming up around the time that Danny Masterson was formally charged. And the information that I have is that those negotiations were total, like the team, that 70 show team did not get a new deal because of what's happening, everything that happened with Danny Masterson, everything that he did. So I wouldn't be surprised if on August 4th, Ashton Kutcher shows up to the hearing and asks if he too can make a victim impact statement for the millions upon millions of dollars he lost due to Danny's crimes. That's a little bit of a joke, but I bet Ashton would like to make a statement. Although he's been awfully silent about all of this. Ashton's hands are not exactly clean in everything Danny Masterson has done over the years. Okay, let's see. Free Xenu Project. I emailed you. I want to buy Peter Overton an SPTV tumbler. Well, that's very kind of you, Free Xenu Project. I have not yet figured out how to do the whole gifting thing on the Fourth Wall merch store. It's probably not that complicated. I just haven't sat down and tried to figure it out. Also, I do not have Peter Overton's address, and that might be a little bit of a hurdle, but maybe we can figure something out, Free Xenu Project. I appreciate that. Carousel Delirium also says, I also am curious of his co-star we are not speaking much of or hearing about. Let me read this again. I am also curious of his co-stars or co-star we are not speaking much of or hearing about. Yeah, look, I imagine his co-stars want to distance themselves from anything to do with Danny Masterson as much as possible. And if I were them, I'd probably be being silent as well. You know, it's one of those things, like, if you even try to say something, you could easily say something wrong. And also, it's not like these people were totally clueless as to what Danny was doing over the years. I mean, a lot of inappropriate, illegal stuff was going on over there on the set of that 70s show. Just look up how old Mila Kunis was when she started working on that show. And then look how old her co-stars were. And then figure out which one of her co-stars she was having relationships with. And you'll get a bit of a sense of what I'm talking about there. Carousel Delirium, ex-Scientologist female. Well, that is a complete sentence. Are you referring to yourself? I'm going to assume you're referring to yourself, that you are a female ex-Scientologist. I think that's what you're saying. Welcome to SPTV. Welcome to the live stream. And thank you for the super chat. Guys, since it is such a short video, let me just remind everybody right now, I am getting so close to the 170,000 subscriber mark. And remember, I've pledged, I'm making a $500 donation to the Aftermath Foundation when I hit that mark. And there are a whole lot of people who've agreed to match or partially match my donation. I really think we might be able to raise as much as $10,000 for the Aftermath Foundation when I hit 170,000 subs. So check that subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed and you want to help the channel and you want to help the Aftermath Foundation at the same time. Hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Anything else? I don't want to ignore any comments. I think that's it, guys. Short and sweet. We're going to leave it right there. I might even have one more video I'm going to do tonight. I'm not quite sure. But thank you all for watching. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe